Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Drawn to Life. In the last part, we lost our dear friend. And now it's time to take this fight to Wilfre. Notable on the world map, this gate that we're standing on right now is actually referred to as the final gate in the files. But they just used the town name in the top there for some reason. The final main level of the game, I also know as the location of the final boss. For some reason they have 4 or 5 there, even though there's only 4 levels in this entire world for some reason. Makes me think there was supposed to be a 4th at some point. Is, in a way, the closest thing we have to a culmination of everything we've done through the game. Yeah, we have some of World 4's gimmicks in here, but we're actually going to have some returning gimmicks from World 3, and I think even some World 2. I can't remember much from World 1, but it's going to be there, I believe. Like, we have the Triton from World 3 to lower the Shadow Lava. Every enemy in here, like in the last level, is only going to be the shadow enemies. You're not facing anything but that. Oh, I guess there's clouds. That's for World 1, technically. And you need to bring your best for this. Make sure you have some extra lives, because you have to do some, admittedly, tough platforming here. Once you know it, it's the best level in the game, probably, because of that. I love Rapo Towers, but this level is just better in every way due to the fact it actually, is a challenge. One thing I do recommend is that when you're playing yourself, especially if you're a first-timer, invest some coins into extra lives before going into this level. Less so for the level itself, more so for the final boss, because it has its own issues and tribulations for you to go to. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Thankfully, during the level itself, they give you a good amount of health as you go through, and there are rarely points where it's actually instant death below you. But there are cases of that, especially like coming up, I believe. So make sure you're good. Also, I forget if it's right here. I think it is. If this is the large drop, I think it is. If you're just rushing through those enemies, hesitate a second there, because otherwise you're going to get hit by this lava. Make sure you take your time with the stars so that you can actually recognize the timing, because, well, it's kind of hard to make that jump otherwise. And make sure you keep your guard up, because otherwise enemies might surprise you like that. I love the background here as well. I actually used to think the background was clouds, but now that I look at it, it's actually, I believe, supposed to be shadow monsters in the background there, at least hiding in the clouds, because you can most certainly see some form of eyes in there. I do find it fitting that my favorite level is the final level, though. It just seems right for some reason. Also, we get the rare vertical stage transition. I think that's actually like one of the 2 times the game does that. Kind of weird, actually. The only other thing I can recommend is make sure you have all the abilities from the ability tokens, because otherwise... Well, actually, no, you might have a good time otherwise. It's just the fact that it'll make things easier with dealing with enemies, particularly the flip. Admittedly... This is also a point where you should hesitate, by the way, because otherwise you might catch yourself in the lava. That trident doesn't exactly mesh well with the stage's aesthetics, but I don't really care. Make sure you approach these jumps at full run, otherwise you're falling into a bottomless pit and dying. And make sure you time this next jump well, because otherwise you're not catching that star. And thus again, you're dying. Now, if only the rest of the game could have platforming like that, you know? Oh, I was really hoping I could get a Mario chain going off there. That would have been fun. I'm not exactly sure, by the way. I know I'm saying this very late. What the exact time it takes for a combo to end is. It's probably at least 2 seconds after your last hit, but be careful with that. And once you gather that heart, it's time for the final boss. Yeah, I think that's also the shortest level in the game, too, aside from the tutorial once you go through it right. You're mine. So you made it this far. My little scorpion friend will take care of you. And this, I believe, is the scorpion you actually see on the world map screen. And the first thing you want to do is back the hell away, because its first attack is this little gas attack. After that, it'll start running towards you and try to snip you either with its claws or with its tail. Best way to try to avoid that attack is to jump into it while swinging your sword, so you'll bounce it back so you can also bounce back. After a couple of swipes, it'll then summon another gas cloud, which will cause gas clouds to show up. At that point, Wilfre will show up at the top, and you have to somehow hit him. Generally, I find the flip is the best way to do so. And then you can attack the scorpion with a ground pound. thus dealing about a third of its health, I believe, is what the amount you need is. At this point, it'll gain a new attack that can stun you and thus leave you open to attack. At this point, though, the fight essentially loops, and you just do all that over again, preventing yourself from getting hit, hopefully, waiting for him to summon another gas cloud so you can jump on the clouds, take out Wilfre, and then damage the Scorpion once again. Notable, unless Wilfre is taken out, the Scorpion will not be stunned, and thus you'll actually hurt yourself by trying to harm it. And I believe every certain amount of hits on it, you actually can get a little life there, or at least some HP. When it glows red, it gets a lot more aggressive, and because of that, I think it actually tries to snip at you a little bit more, or at least it gets faster at doing so. Jump slices are the best way to do this because you'll bounce yourself back as well as bouncing it away from you. Do this 3 times, and phase 1 of the final boss is over. Now it's time for phase 2. Ugh, this has gone on long enough. I'll destroy you myself. Wilfre himself is also comprised of 2 phases, though they're notable by a difference in dialogue. He has 2 major attacks. He throws down stars at the left and right and then centers of the screen respectively, and he'll only do that on the left side of the screen, and on the right he'll throw 3 tridents at you at distances of near from him, far from him, and well, I think the exact thing is far, middle, and near to him is the order they go there. And that is always linked to what side of the screen he's on. The only way you can damage him is when he's in the midst of either moving or... Actually, no, I think that's just it. When he's moving is the only time you can actually harm him. Because when he's attacking, he's actually immune to damage. I have an easier time damaging him when he's going right to left than I do left to right. At least here in phase 1. So that's probably your best bet. Around half health is when the other thing happens. Ugh. I'll prepare to die. At this point, he'll do both attacks whenever he wants. Whenever he's facing you from the side like that, he's doing his fork attack, his trident attack rather, which is far, middle, near. And when he's facing the screen, he's doing the star attack, which is, again, left, right, and then the center, generally aimed at you. Again, you can only damage him when he's in the middle of moving himself, and he can actually do a couple attacks in a row this time around. However, I honestly find him a bit easier in this phase because he moves a bit more often. Keep your wits about you, have some HP hopefully, because if you die, I believe you're back to before the Scorpion. And Wilfre probably won't be that hard of a final boss. He's probably my favorite boss in the game all the same, but there's harder. Ow, what? No, this cannot be. Bartleby, you made it! All the darkness is gone. Everyone's excited. Follow me. Let's go see Mari. And thus, we have our final trek. Notable, when Wilfre is in his death animation where he fades away, there is a line of dialogue that's not used there where he says, your character's name, he never intended for this to happen, but it was too late and the shadow consumed him. But I guess they just thought it was a bit unfitting. Also, I should probably make Bartleby no longer battle ready because our friend is avenged. So let's get rid of his angry eyebrows, get rid of that little faceplate, and let's give him another nice smile. This one that will hopefully show up better because it's nowhere near as thin. Or at least not visually thin. No, it's more like a mustache too, actually. French Bartleby. Bartleby. Alright, let's talk with Mari. Bartleby, you did it! And you brought back the Book of Life. Let me insert the final page. I'm not ready to ask the creator to sign my name in the book, but I'll do my best to watch over the village. Hey, maybe the creator can sign his name. Just until I'm ready to be mayor. Now, I was actually tempted to see if I can find some joke to do here, but I ended up just signing my actual name anyway, though I actually had to look up some different fonts to write in, because my actual signature is complete shite. So I'm just jump cutting and writing in Kyle. I was tempted to do some kind of hokey stuff here, saying like the viewers or something like that, but yeah, I just decided to go the plain way. Though I made the K a little bit too big. As we all do with our signatures. Also, that's right. I forgot. I actually didn't speed this up. This is real time. And with that, I believe that is the last thing we have to draw. I find it interesting to make you do it black, white on black and not black on white. I wonder what everyone's up to. Probably causing trouble. Hey, Joey, aren't you supposed to be watching Heather? That's an oh shit face. What do we got? What are you doing, Heather? Oh, boy. Crazy Box is guarding his rock! Tell Box what you are doing near his rock! Bark? Bark. Holy crap, she spoke. Barnaby rescued me from Scary Dragon! Joey took care of me! Bark, bark. Oh, God, no, there's two of them. It's good to see she's actually speaking, though. Sasha, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, the jig is up. It's time for me to put a stop to your crime spree. I have been on the run long enough. Go back inside. No, Rapo want to stay with Sasha. So I should give presents. Who's that? I found her in the wood before Bartleby rescued us. I've been taking care of her. I see. Well, I need to place you under arrest. But I think we can allow you to stay in the village. Under my watch, of course. Thank you. Oh, I was wondering where he was. So I hear you're planning a treasure hunt. Yar, rumors flood this port. Yar, we settin' sail soon. I'd like to join. I guess we could use your treasure-finding skills. Y'all need to be giving me your hat, though. What? No way. Yar. Ah, so they actually are kind of bros. Blah. Will this treasure include tomato juice? Yar, no. But I heard Bubba and Tubba be having some. Yar should go ask them. I think they be hoarding it. Blah. I will go ask them. That was Rapo. Weird. So let me take a look at your ears. There's nothing wrong with my ears. Well, you have ears. I've never seen anything like them, though. What is this place? Seriously, what are you? You should visit Isaac. He could probably sell you some fake ears. I'll continue to research until I find an explanation. I give up. The villagers probably want to see Bartleby. I'm sure they want to say thanks. That sounds like a great idea. Bartleby, I'll need to talk to Joey alone. When you're done talking with the villagers, come see us at the secret beach. Let's go. And now we have a bit of a Dragon Quest section where you get to go around the town and say hi to people. Or I guess bye in this case. I think you could also revisit the stages if you wanted to, but I'm basically going to be jump cutting around. Damn fine crop upon you this season. All thanks to you, Bartleby. I think the only characters I don't talk to are Isaac and those, I think those in that cutscene before, who I don't think you can really talk to, aside from Dr. Kieran and such. But I should probably, since I'm not going to touch this file ever again, donate the money I got to the Wishing Well. I should note, I know I mentioned the Developer's Grove before, but the way you enter the Developer's Grove is by actually touching the well. And lives, song, lives, palette, song. That was a thing. I finally caught Sasha. That's it? Okay. Thank you again. One day I will be free again. You've done well. We're proud of you. I just realized those are basically the exact same voice, only one's a bit gruffer. So many memories! The Creator drew the moon and the stars for us. So I took the moon, and I took the sun, and I took everything that sounds like fun? We'll protect Mari with our lives. Okay, cool. Everything's back to normal.
Oh, you did it, Bartleby. We're safe.
Alright, thanks, Bubba. I'm ready to go on another adventure. Actually, Indiana Jones 5 is in production, isn't it? So, yar, sounds like more riffraff in this port. I like it. And I like your winking animation. Now, I'm not exactly sure if you can talk to Isaac, because he's in his shop all the time. Fox is glad the shadow is gone! And I will actually kind of miss you, because I actually like the way you speak. I should open up a hospital here. What the heck is a Raposa, anyway? You know, he brings up a good point. Are they bunny people? And I think that's about it for unique NPCs that I can talk to, aside from Cookie. So, Isaac, we have come to an arrangement. Good. And Heather? Wapo. Ah, she's actually talking now. That's nice. Oh yeah, I forgot about Navy. We haven't seen him in a while. Check him off. Final dance. Well, it's well animated, but it's kind of pointless. Also, if I recall, there are some NPCs that just aren't spawned in this at all. Like, I think Count Chaco's missing. Pronounce, right? Well, that's about everyone I can talk to, so let's head on up to the beach. Hey, Mari. I heard you talking to Pirate Beard about leaving the village. Well, I've been thinking about it, and I think you should go. What? You always talk about adventure. So you should go. Follow your heart. What about you? Maybe you could come along? I'd like that. But my place is here in the village. My dad, Bartleby, they all believed in me. And you believed in me. I'll never forget that. Don't stay away too long. I won't. And I'll bring you back something amazing. I guess I'll walk you to the dock. Okay. Say goodbye to Joey at the village dock. I almost don't want to say goodbye to him because he's done some dumb stuff. Yeah, but that makes him a good character. It makes believable mistakes for someone his age, and it's honestly because of him we've probably gotten this far at all. You can't talk to Mari here, by the way, for some reason. Well, Bartleby, I guess this is goodbye. Thanks for everything. You saved us. Take care of Mari. Mari. Be safe, Joey. Don't forget about us. I won't.
It brought rain and shine into my life. I know you got to lead, but I'm not surprised. What's the use? Anyway, got loose, and there's nothing I can do. Wanna know
it will always be this way. It works because all my love makes for a shining, shining day. It begins to rain, you feel the change. I start to wonder if I'm ever gonna see you again. Then she tells me this is not the end, drawn to the smile on your face. But these are my dreams and this is your place.
If that's what you want, it's not what I need. I'm high and dry and you see it's the place. You color every breath I breathe. 'Cause if everything changes, will this work anymore?
And I can see you don't believe as I'm ready to leave. We can't change me.
No. Can we save this?
What if I told you the stars, he drew them only for you?
What if I can't dream? 'Cause I'm dreaming of you.
What have I got to lose if I never ever reach the end of you? I guess we'll find out soon.
I'm not unsure, not quite certain, love, where these problems came from. I'm not unsure, not quite certain, love, why I'm feeling so drawn to a life with you.
Because it always was, and it will always be this way. It works because all my love needs for a shining, shining day. It begins to rain, you feel the change. You start to wonder if I'm never gonna see you again.
Then he tells me this is not the end.
No, I'm not tearing up. That song always gets me. That song is titled The End, written by the composer of the game's soundtrack, David J. Frankel, and performed by both him and Haley Chipman. And obviously it's said from the perspective of Joey and Mari. And it's actually like a legitimately good song with really good lyrics. And it even has the closest thing to a title drop the game has towards the end with lyrics, "Why I'm so feeling drawn to a life with you." But that's Drawn to Life. It's a very good game, but it is flawed. I brought up most of my issues with the game as we've gone through, like, for instance, some of the levels can drag on a bit too long, some of the early levels aren't too interesting, and while I love the drawing idea for the game, the tool itself can be a bit limited. Although people can do a lot of good things with it, I just don't have the talent for it myself. Thankfully, some of the issues I have are fixed in the sequel. Some length things especially, but one thing I really have to give this game credit for is that its story is really good. Sure, a lot of the Raposa we rescue are fairly one-note characters, but Wilfre, the mayor, especially Mari and Joey, I love those characters so much. The soundtrack is amazing, and it's overall just a game that I have a lot of good memories with. I'm actually very glad I revisited this. I haven't played this game probably since my second playthrough of it, not long after the release of the game. And it's been a really good revisit. The game got me right. Obviously I'm a bit choked up because that ending gets me, but the game got me about as powerfully as it did back then. In fact, it gets me probably more now that I actually understand a lot of this what's going on in it compared to when I was 10. The whole Joey scene at the end. Oh man, my heart. Which is something you wouldn't really expect from a game like this. Also, for some reason, the credits music becomes really ominous from here on. In fact, there's also a weird thing at the end of the credits where it fades to white rather, before the last name is technically even on screen, which is weird. If you want to play it, there are a good amount of versions. Let me get them all up just to be safe. Obviously, there's the DS version, which is the original. There's also the DS Collection, which has some minor changes, I believe, in the case of the first game. I think mostly bug fixes. And it's also on iOS. However, I actually recommend avoiding the iOS version. Because while you'd think this kind of game would be right at home on like an iPad or a phone, first off, the touch controls are way too sensitive. The outer window can actually activate a lot of game objects still, and it leads to a lot of pain, including jumping left especially. And the interface, while I like how they smoothed out some of the stuff with it, like literally they just smoothed out some of the graphics for it, it comes off as a very clumsy port. It's only $5, which I guess makes it cheaper, but you get what you pay for. I do recommend it enough as a game. However, this is not a game I don't think I'll be going back to for a while. I remember the second game being a better game overall, and I'll probably go back to that more often still. But the first Drawn to Life, as good as it is one of those games you play, you enjoy it, especially the story and the ending. Oh my god. And then you kind of put back on the shelf for a while. In this case, probably a decade. I probably won't play this again until I'm in my 30s. Oh lord. But I do recommend it enough. Sure, you probably got most of the story impact just by going through this, but it is a fun game. Obviously I brought up some ideas that could have made it more interesting as we've gone through it, but the game itself is still fine. One thing I probably could mention now is that there's actually technically 2 fan sequels being made, both entitled The Lost Chapter and The Final Chapter. I have no idea when they're supposed to take place. I think Lost Chapter might take place between 1 and 2, and I think Final Chapter is supposed to supposedly somehow take place after 2. But I'll get more into detail with those. First off, when I get to the sequel, because they'll probably be more fleshed out by that point if they're not canceled altogether. But I'll also be able to talk more about it compared to the ending of Drawn to Life 2. But that's about it. In terms of the next DS game I plan to play, even though it's not going to be for a while, I'm finally going to go on to the Mega Man Star Force series. And yeah, see that fade out? I don't know why it does that. Because there's still people going out the screen. What the hell? But as for the next game in general, like let me take a good look at my list, see if I got any good guesses. Maybe something from the NES, some for Nintendo, something along those lines. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Take care. And I'll see you guys next Let's Play, whatever that may be. See you guys then.